So when we talk about IQ, financial IQ, when it comes to return on investment, a thing called ROI, what's my return? On savings today, maybe about 3%. Mutual funds, if you're lucky, 8%. That's before tax. What Kenny McElroy and I talk about is a return of infinite return with zero risk. So get this, that to me is high IQ. So we have an infinite return with zero risk. And most financial experts, on CNBC and Fox and all that, and you can't do that. So the reason I want to bring that up today is to have my partner, one of my best friends in the world, and a Rich Dad advisor. He's the author of The ABCs of Real Estate Investing, and his latest book is going to be coming out called Advanced Real Estate Strategies and things like this. This is my friend Ken McElroy. Big hand for him, too. Quick question, is that possible?
Yes, we're doing it now.
Yes, we do it all the time.
Right.
How do you accomplish that?
Well, I'll tell you how we've done it maybe on our last deal, if that's okay. What we did was I went to Robert with an investment that we had. It was a 256-unit apartment house in Tucson, Arizona. And it actually had 144 units and some vacant land next to it, and we made it a 256 unit by knowing that we could build another 112. So what we did was we bought the property for about $10 million. And then we built the 112 units. So when it was all said and done, it roughly had a value of say, about $15 million.
And what makes it worth $15 million is we raised the rent, so the cash flow was that high.
Right. Well, one, we built the property at wholesale. So whatever it cost to build the property, we built the property, and we already own the land. So we used the land to get a construction loan to build the property, so we didn't have any more money out of pocket. And I think we had about $3 million invested in this particular property.
And the bank had financed $7 million.
Right. So after about a year and a half, we were able to build the property. And at that time, based on our estimation, it was worth about $15 million. So then what happened was, because we chose Tucson because we knew the market was being oversupplied with population was growing, and that particular area had actually an undersupply of rental housing.
Plus, University of Arizona is there, and anytime there's a big school there, the demand for housing is high.
Right. So what we did was we knew that we were going to have some pretty good rent growth, and also when we bought the property, we knew that there was some rent growth within the existing rent roll from the owner that we got. So we went out and we did a market survey, excuse me, and it showed us that we had $50 to $75 within the rents on every single unit on the 144 that were there. So we knew that we could raise those rents, and we also knew that we were buying in an area that was most possibly going to increase the rents. And of course, I have a management company, so I was actually managing the money at the same time, which is the reason I have the management company. So then what happened was we had experienced some very, very good rent growth, almost 20% over the next 3 years. Plus we had the rents increase on the units that were there. And so then we said to Robert and Kim, I said, I think it's time to refinance. So we went to the bank, and the bank told us that our property was worth $18.5 million. So what happened was we decided we were going to refinance. And the bank told us that our value was $18.5 million. Basically, that was the appraisal. And appraisals are based on the net operating income. And I'm not going to go into that today, but basically the net operating income is income minus expenses. And we were able to grow the rent and keep the expenses to the market, and we were able to have a value of 18.5. So now, keep in mind, we bought it, and for 10 with the land, we had some construction costs in there. At the time, I think we owed about $12 million on it. That was with the construction loan, plus what we originally had. But we also had, I think we only put $7 million down. So We owed $7 million, and the property was worth 18.5. So basically, at that point, Robert, if you remember, we paid off the $7 million, and we basically got a check for $9,500,000. Of which what we did was we paid back the original investors their original investment, plus any preferred return they had, and then we split up the balance. And at that point, the one issue that we had was we had a higher loan amount. So we had less cash flow, but we still had cash flow. But at that point, we were basically in the property for zero.
I had given Kenny about $1 million into this. He gave me my $1 million back, and every month I still get about $10,000 a month cash flow from this property. So I have zero money into it. This $1 million he gave back to me, how much was that taxed at?
Zero.
Zero.
It's a refinance.
You see, when you borrow money, it's a loan, it's zero. So I got $1 million when these people are complaining about capital gains taxes and all this. I got my $1 million back tax-free, plus I still get about $120,000 a year cash flow. And the property just keeps throwing cash forever. So our risk is almost zero.
Well, at this point, we have zero invested in the property, and it produces cash flow. And the interesting thing is we can do this again.
And again, and we have done it again.
Yeah.
We do it constantly. We have thousands of these units. And right now we're in the middle of a big subprime mess. Is this slowing us down?
No, because now the property, of course, is more higher occupied, and the rents are going up again, and it's pushing this value up again. In fact, we had an offer on the property for a little over $20 million to buy it, and we decided not to sell it because we want, of course, to refinance again and pull more money out.
And if we sold it, we have to pay the tax.
Right. And our ownership position's the same as it was. The only difference is we don't have an investment in it.
Right.
And that's when Robert's now getting his $120,000 a year in return, he gets that with zero investment.
So that's why we started this whole thing here on an infinite return, very, very low, zero risk, because I don't have any money in it. This now belongs to the bank, technically.
Yeah, the bank is your friend.
So this is an example of high financial IQ, extremely high returns, zero taxes legally, and very low risk. So that's what we're talking about, financial IQ, and that's what this program's about.